Now, this video will be containing spoilers for Dragon Ball Super's manga. Obviously, I don't think I needed to really say this, but yeah, spoiler warning. Dragon Ball Super's manga is really weird in comparison to the anime. Like, it has a lot of pros, but also does have a good amount of cons behind it, which is frustrating because this manga definitely could be a lot better, but it does have a really big stain on its back, and that stain is called the Tournament of Power. Now, before I get into that, actually, I want to go over the arcs that happened before and even after the TOP, and why the manga of Dragon Ball Super is actually very enjoyable. And also, this is just me kind of saying my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super while also telling you guys to read it as well, so it's a 2-for-1 deal. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. First, let's talk about Battle of Gods Universe 6 and ROF, as all of those arcs are relatively short, and I guess the first big arc is the Goku Black arc, so I'll just cover briefly these 3 mini arcs. Battle of Gods, although a lot shorter in comparison to the anime version, I thought was more enjoyable than the anime's version, since that was just fucking dragged out for way too long in my opinion. And for those few chapters we got of ROF, yeah, it was very vague, but I think I'll take those chapters over the anime's version of the arc, because that arc in the anime is straight torture just to watch. Now, technically, we have our first Dragon Ball Super arc, no movies included. We have the Champa Tournament arc. And this arc, like the anime, has the same problem, and that's Goku and Vegeta are simply too strong. Like, Goku and Vegeta are just washing through everybody in the tournament. Piccolo gets jobbed in the anime, and in the manga, he doesn't get as jobbed, but he still gets jobbed, and Goku and Vegeta just carry out the entire tournament, which I think is pretty lame. However, 2 good things come from this version of the arc, and that is 1, the justification of Vegeta losing to Hit, which is the blue stamina problem, and 2, Goku overcoming that. This is actually a nice little foreshadow for what happens in the next arc, which is Goku and Vegeta overcoming the Super Saiyan blue stamina problem, which in the anime they just do by, I don't know, getting used to it. Like, Super Saiyan Blue feels actually special in the manga, whereas in the anime it feels like they just pulled that form out their ass just to sell some toys. Like, I don't know, I just appreciate the manga version of Super Saiyan Blue a lot more, and I especially appreciate it in the next arc, that being the Goku Black arc, where unlike in the anime things just go downhill in this arc is actually fire and is the best Super arc up to this point. In the manga, they quite literally fix my problems that I had with the anime version here. They only go back twice and not drag it out for 3 times. Trunks doesn't get a form that comes out of literally nowhere. And Goku Black doesn't just go SSJ and it's some weird random color. Rather, Goku Black has normal SSJ, which in terms of drip, Goku Black is completely fucking unrivaled. Goku Black with normal Super Saiyan, oh my god, the sauce. Also, Rose makes a lot more sense here, being his own version of Super Saiyan Blue, since Goku Black is all about that ego and all about that divine superiority type bullshit, and Rose being a god form here perfectly suits Goku Black here. And Vegeta going to the time chamber here, instead of just getting stronger and beating up Goku Black, he actually learns the God Switch technique, which is basically switching from the God form to blue in the moment of attacking, minimizing stamina decrease, and maximizing power. This was hinted at in the Universe 6 arc thanks to Goku, and honestly, Vegeta just perfecting this in his own way and completely outclassing Goku Black is amazing. And once Merge Zamasu forms, we actually get Merge Zamasu not getting beaten up and having to get literally amped to completely outclass the Z Fighters. Like, that was just completely embarrassing in my opinion. But instead, he completely obliterates Goku and Vegeta, and not to mention, he's not just constantly healing himself because he's immortal, but he doesn't have the healing ability. So he can still basically just get beaten up, which means he won't necessarily die, and this leads into Goku using the new transformation, which is Mastered Super Saiyan Blue. This form essentially just being the grade 4 version of Super Saiyan Blue and not having any aura leaking out, indicating that they're keeping the full power of Super Saiyan Blue, but it has a time limit. I just thought it was a really neat detail, and overall, the fight with Zamasu in the manga is so much better. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about Vegito, who instead of just not being able to kill Merge Zamasu with the full-powered final Kamehameha, Vegito just completely dog-walks Merge Zamasu, and he was about to kill him, but Super Saiyan Blue just costed that much power. And also, because Zamasu is immortal, Goku would then decide to use a technique he picked up from Beerus, that being Hakai. And I don't care what you say, everyone, when they first saw this, when this first got fucking leaked, or whenever the chapter came out, everyone was talking about this shit. Everybody was going crazy over this. And some people might call it dumb or it doesn't make sense, but honestly, this is in character for Goku to adapt a technique off of his mentor. And surprisingly, we still get the same ending. However, it's not as cringy because Zamasu doesn't die from a fucking spirit bomb sword that is composed of like 10 people's ki. Okay, I'm down. Okay, obviously I'm capping. It's not 10, but it's definitely less than 100 people giving their energy. And Trunks folds Zamasu so goddamn hard that Zamasu then becomes the fucking universe and Zeno has to erase the timeline. Now, the erasing timeline isn't bad, however, the Zamasu universe stuff is so unnecessary and it's corny. In the manga, it's Zamasu cloning himself, giving Goku and Vegeta like a metal cooler type scene, and just fighting a bunch of clones together. We even get to see Vegeta using this form and even showing off his full power Gamma Burst Flash, which was a pretty cool detail. And overall, this version of the arc is so much better than the anime, and infinitely better than fucking anything before it. Now, the next arc I'm going to be covering is the Moro arc, and I'm not going to be talking about the Granola arc here, and I'm only going to be ending the video off talking about the TOP. The reason why is because I want to talk about the Granola arc specifically in a video of its own, and if you guys do want to see that, let me know down in the comment section below. Now, for my thoughts on the Moro arc, I'm just going to say it right now. The Moro arc is the best arc that Super has right now. It definitely surpasses the Goku Black arc, and I honestly just overall found it engaging as fuck, man. Moro in general was just great. I love the design, his powers were cool. Specifically, the way he used his powers were cool, because it kind of seemed boring at first, you know, him just draining people's energy, but he literally uses the fucking planet's energy to evade attacks, fucking blocks them. We get to see him even utilizing the same ability as one of his homies from the prison who can store abilities, and this time he doesn't have time limits on them, so he uses Vegeta's Big Bang attacks, Piccolo's special beam cannon. Moro in general was just great. I love the design, his powers were cool. I also liked how he actually had some tie-ins with the Supreme Kais and even Majin Buu. Majin Buu got involved, guys. Not just that, we also get Moro freeing all of the prisoners, which was probably the arc's lowest point. I mean, there's literally no motivation there at all. I wish we could have gotten scenes of maybe Moro slowly climbing the ranks in the prison and him actually forming bonds with some of the goons. But that doesn't even matter because we see the goons invade Earth, which means we actually get to see all the Z Fighters unite, and it's not just Goku and Vegeta fighting with them and then Goku and Vegeta carrying the fight. That's not like that at all. Goku and Vegeta are currently training because Moro beat their ass. And so we just get the Z Fighters working together, including Yamcha and fucking Chaozu. Yamcha and Chaozu! And the homies are just working together to beat up these goons, and I honestly just love it. Adding them in the story doesn't make the plot any better, but it's just nice to see what's going on as Goku and Vegeta are training. It's not just us seeing them train and then them going to beat the main villain. We get to see the consequences of them actually taking the fat L and them trying to bounce back from it. And this is especially the case for Vegeta, who goes to the same planet that Goku trained on for a year, learned more techniques than him, and was able to initially press Moro because he was able to basically split all the energy that he was absorbing, making Moro weaker and weaker. And this is when Moro does some perfect cell type shit, which I know a lot of people weren't a fan of this form of Moro, but I think it's kind of cool, I'm not even gonna lie. And him absorbing the one goon that was giving Piccolo a lot of trouble was pretty cool, I guess. Who can use not only that guy's techniques who already copied Piccolo's in the first place, but also copies Vegeta's Spirit Fission along with his Big Bang attack. Which means no fusion is going to help the Z Fighters cop out a dub, and instead we get Beerus and Goku combating Moro, with Beerus dying in the end, and this would then push Goku to then try and combat Moro with MUI, defeating him, and even trying to spare him, telling him to get off this planet, and even giving him a Senzu Bean. Which I know everybody hates, however, this is literally in character for Goku, guys. He's done this shit before. He's given Frieza, the man who murdered his best friend, the man who almost killed Piccolo, who Goku was just kind of becoming friends with, and was about to murder his own son, energy to leave because he didn't want Frieza to go and die. So stop complaining about this and stop bitching. This is fine, and honestly, the whole final fight with Goku and Moro is sick as fuck. Overall, a certified banger, and now we can sadly talk about the Tournament of Power. Now, even being the worst in the bunch, the TOP still has its great moments, so I'll just briefly list them here. Vegeta fighting Beerus, the gods fighting together, and Goku's spar with Toppo were all solid, along with Jiren's characterization of being more heroic and willing to drop out of the tournament if it means to protect his universe. However, once the Universe 7 team is built, it goes downhill from here. First major difference is Gohan in the manga essentially not even getting an arc, and we get his power up off screen and we just see him in a Piccolo gi saying how he's been training, which is super lame, especially in comparison to the anime where they gave Gohan a whole arc of finding a balance and coming to the conclusion that he is going to have to maintain his power if he's going to want to try and protect the ones he loves. And we even see Gohan going toe-to-toe with Blue Goku, which felt a lot more rewarding in comparison to the manga Gohan who got a crazy power boost, because we actually saw Gohan working his way up. And it gets worse once they enter the World of Void, right off the bat eliminating all of the fodder, which the anime kept to essentially drag out most of the episodes, which some people kind of disliked. However, I much prefer this because some of them were actually kind of cool, but also we got to see the different types of universes, which was the whole point of this arc. But instead, they just decide to eliminate all of the fodder people, and they go so fast for no reason. Like, as soon as they enter the World of Void, fucking Toyotaro just cranks it up to ×4 speed. And because of the pacing, it's really off-putting and makes this arc super frustrating to read. And it gets worse when Kale erases literally 5 universes alone. Gohan and Kefla just stalemate, which is whatever. Hey guys, you remember those 2 Pride Troopers with Jiren that had actually their own transformations in the anime and they were actually kind of competent? Nope! They were about to get serious too, and Frieza just eliminates them. And they just rush for literally no reason. Like, I thought Toyotaro was gonna go crazy for the ending, but it's literally just the same as the animes, which, no hate to that. If you're rushing a manga to end and not really have an ending that's even fucking rewarding, what's the point of rushing? Literally, why? Whatever, it's 3 in the morning, I'm done screaming about Dragon Ball Super. Overall, I think this manga could have been a damn near 10 out of 10, but I'm just going to be rating it an 8 to an 8.5, and the reason why it's not higher is the Tournament of Power. Thank you, good night.